Kumusta po kayo? Magandang umaga, hapon, o gabi. I don't know the exact time, but I'm grateful you allowed me to come into the privacy of your homes or wherever you are. Sa mga, parang pwedeng sabing suki ng grace for the moment. Thank you for allowing me to come into your lives. Nag-uusap tayo about Easter and we're talking about a man named Thomas. Napag-usapan natin last time the danger of the unsurrendered doubt. Ngayon naman, pili muna tayo. Ang kape, pampalis doubt o pampadagdag ng doubt. Anyway, I doubt. Yung becoming a doubter is not overnight. There is a process before a person becomes a doubter by lifestyle. Ano bang ibang term dyan? Doubter could be called like sigurista. Everybody is a suspect. Well, sa panahon natin, I think we need to have the legit doubt. But to live a life as a doubter, sometimes, or I would say, clinical delicate. You have to look at the making, the process of how a doubter is made. Sa kay Thomas, palagi ko may apat na mga dahilan. Ito, observation ko lang from life, from my ministry, and from my self-examination. Probably, it will help you. The making of a doubter, in my opinion, is about a tolerated selfish agenda. Alam mo yon? Yung what's good for me. Ganun ba si Thomas? Perhaps. The scary truth here is one can begin good or assume good, and then later we found out when God exposes the truth, all the while, I thought I was following Christ. Pero sa totoo pala, I am following my agenda, hiding in the name of Christ. That's pretty scary. At ang resulta niyan, self-preservation is the goal of living. When self-agenda is not surrendered, self-preservation will be the goal, and doubting, borderline to unbelief, becomes a lifestyle. So it is my prayer today that as you follow Christ, we learn to surrender our agenda. Ang sabi nga the more you lose your life for His sake, you find it. But the opposite is also true. The more you save your life, your sake, you lose it. Pangalawa, it's a scarred ego that is caused by unmet expectation. Di ko alam anong gugot ni Thomas, but I have a feeling that it came from something he wanted God to do, pero God did not. Siguro a good reminder that when we serve God, sana klaro ang atong lugar. He is God, and we are not. He is wise, and we are not. He is omniscient, and we are limited. And given that criterion, mas mahalaga siguro na maisip natin that may our expectations be anchored on the character of God. Pero when those expectations are not met, sabi nga kila, panabitaw, if you want to know the character of a person, try to find out his reaction when his demands are not met. Pag hindi nasunod yung gusto, your reaction reveals your character. Sometimes, sabi siya pa, ang luod, balin ang simbahan, or probably will deny the faith, or will get angry with God. Marami sa atin nandyan, ako mismo, I've been there, believe me. There were times in my life that I'm afraid to pray anymore. Ano man? Because I feel like my prayers are not taken seriously by God. Mabuti na lang, na-rescue ako ng Diyos. That reminds me that prayer is not about getting what I want. It's knowing the God who answers prayer. It's souring relationship with others that led to a gradual distance away from a spiritual community. Meron tayong series about spiritual community. The community of Thomas are his fellow disciples. Alam mo yun? They were all together. They're afraid. They're all struggling. Pero it is so subtly deceiving when you want to distance from your community and live life alone. Alagay ko, if that is the path, the more you will become a doubter. Now let me clarify. Be careful with the spiritual community you connect with, because there are abusive community. When I say abusive community, I don't mean one group. I mean all religion have the tendency to be abusive. All pastors and priests and spiritual leaders are not accepted. We have the tendency to abuse people, either in the very sense of the word abuse, manipulate, and etc. Kaya to connect to a spiritual community needs discernment. Find out if the community is healthy. Find out if the community has a track record of abuse. And I am not singling out any other denomination. I'm saying all religion are capable of this. Kay Thomas, the only healthy community he has are his fellow disciples. But because of his doubt, he gradually distanced away from them. Maybe I'm talking to someone there na medyo dugay-dugay na gyud ng luod sa simbahan, ng luod sa Ginoo, ng luod sa isig kaingon nga Kristohanon. I don't blame you, but it is my prayer that you recognize that if you stay in that kalabitam, in that attitude, the more your doubt will become dangerous. My whole point is Thomas need others to help nourish his faith. Kaya po, in this episode, the making of a doubter is so obvious when the person begins to isolate himself. The truth of the matter is, while there are others who are traumatized by religion, but isolating yourself, I think is good for a while, but it is never healthy if you stay that way for a long, long time. And then, the making of a doubter. It is about setting a standard of cynicism that requires seeing before believing. That's why Thomas said, kapaso na. May hugot yun. Until I touch His word. Until I see His side. Until I prove for myself that He is indeed risen. Then I believe. You know, the beauty is this. The risen Lord is able to rescue you from your doubt. But to stay that way and a doubter for the rest of your life is to deny yourself of the adventure of faith, knowing the risen Lord in the most intimate way. So last time sabi natin, surrender your doubt. And today, I want to tell you, there is only one way for the doubter to survive, is to meet and encounter the risen Lord. And from that encounter, let Him love you, transform you, lead you into the path of faith. Kaya nga sabi ni Kristo, blessed are those who believe, even though they have not seen. For Thomas, he said, my Lord and my God. And by the way, that's the result when the doubter meets the risen Lord. And how dangerous for any doubter who attempt to cure himself. You need the risen Lord, and believe me, you need others to guide you into the life of faith. Tawag daw dyan you need others who are called along-siders. Diba? Yung mga ibang disipulo, they have their own issues. But together, they're able to strengthen one another and they're able to heal through each other as they trust the risen one. So in this episode, I say, don't stay a doubter. May the Lord rescue us in the middle of where we are, so we will not trap ourselves until such time that there is no more way out. God bless you. And Easter means the Lord is risen. The Lord is risen indeed.